Okay, so meditation, it's like everywhere these days, right? But
Hmm.
what if it could actually make you a better leader? Not just, more zen and relaxed, but actually better at your job. We're going to do a deep dive into this book, Do Nothing
Hmm.
by Rob Dube.
Okay.
And I've got to say, even I was a little skeptical at first, but
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
all we have is this YouTube summary to go off of, but the story is pretty wild.
Oh, it really is. Like, you think of meditation and it's all like new agey, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Dube's this super successful entrepreneur,
Hmm.
and he says meditation is directly tied to his success in business.
So how'd that happen? Like, lay it on me. What's his story?
Okay, so picture this. He co-founds this recycling company in the 90s.
All right.
Total boom, they're killing it, right? Sells it for a massive profit.
So, like, the dream, right?
You'd think, happy ending, but he's not fulfilled. He's lost, doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, I can see that. You put your heart and soul into something.
Totally.
It's got to be tough to just walk away.
Exactly. And that's where meditation comes in. Almost like a last resort to deal with the stress
Makes sense.
and the uncertainty of it all.
So he's just trying to chill out, basically.
At first, yeah. But here's the thing. It did way more than that.
Oh.
It helped him focus, get clarity, be less afraid of failing.
Hmm.
And those are like leadership 101, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
But get this. Meditation helped him, BUK, his company.
Wait, what?
Yeah, just 9 months later.
How is that even possible?
That's where mindfulness comes in, right?
Mhm.
Studies show it helps you pay attention better and tune out all the distractions.
Yeah,
Which, let's be real, every leader needs that.
for sure.
It's not about emptying your mind, it's training it to focus on what actually matters.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's more about, like, directing your attention.
Exactly.
But it wasn't just focus, right? Didn't Dubé say meditation changed his company values, too? Like, he wanted a more positive vibe.
Absolutely.
Really valuing his employees, making a difference in the community, all that.
Right. And he didn't just talk the talk. This stuff became part of the company's DNA. Like in
Mhm.
2014, sales tanked.
Uh-oh.
But instead of freaking out, he stayed calm.
Meditation, you think?
Totally. It helped him see things clearly.
That makes sense. So that clarity, I guess, helped him come up with new solutions. Think outside the box?
100%. And you want to know the craziest thing he did?
I'm all ears.
Open book finances. Everyone, from the receptionist to the top dogs, could see the company's money situation.
Whoa. That's risky. Why would he do that?
He realized people need to feel heard, valued, right.
Yeah.
So this transparency made everyone feel included, and they all pitched in with solutions.
And it paid off.
Big time. They blew their revenue records out of the water in 2016 and 2017.
Wow. So we're talking about more than just a calmer leader here.
Right.
Meditation's making him more effective.
Exactly. It's not passivity, it's empowerment. To make good decisions, build relationships, handle the tough stuff better. And that brings up a question for you, listening right now. Could meditation unlock that same potential in your leadership?
I gotta admit, I'm starting to think so. But, I mean, this all sounds great, but is there, like, any science to back this up?
Well, lucky for us, it's not just stories. There's a ton of research out there that shows how good meditation is.
Okay, so?
Both for, like, personal well-being
Mm-hmm.
and how well you lead.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so there's this study at Pepperdine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even a few hours of mindfulness practice, it really boosts your attention and focus.
That's huge. We spend so much time fighting distractions at work.
Exactly. Imagine if your whole team had that kind of focus.
Okay, yeah?
And then there's this Harvard study.
Okay.
They found meditation actually makes the hippocampus, the part of your brain for memory and learning, denser.
Hold up, so it's literally changing your brain.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a brain upgrade for leaders. Better focus, memory, learning.
All right, that's pretty impressive. But what about, like, the really stressful stuff that leaders have to deal with? Can meditation really help with that?
You know, that's where the healing and the resilience part really comes in. Think about Dube's experience with the Boston Marathon bombing.
Oh, right. I read about that. That was awful.
Yeah, it really messed him up. But meditation helped him work through the trauma.
Wow.
And get this, he ran the New York Marathon just 7 months later.
You're kidding?
Nope. It's incredible what we can overcome with the right tools.
So you're saying if meditation can help with something as horrific as that, it can probably handle our everyday work stress.
Exactly. It's a total shift in how we see stress, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just enduring it.
Yeah.
Meditation gives you a way to manage it, build up your resilience, and there's a lot of research on veterans and PTSD that shows this too.
That makes sense. If it helps them, it can probably help us handle a tough meeting, right?
For sure. Holly Richardson and Matt Jarman at Virginia Military Institute, they've been teaching meditation to cadets
Interesting.
to help them deal with the insane pressure of military life.
So there's definitely a link between meditation and resilience, especially in high-pressure jobs.
Right, and it's not just about feeling peaceful. It's about being mentally tough. And it's not all just stories. Studies show meditation actually lowers your stress hormones like cortisol and even your blood pressure.
Okay, I'm convinced. But how do we even start? Like, our lives are already crazy busy. Where do we fit meditation in?
The good news is it's not as complicated as you might think. Dube's book has some really simple but effective techniques.
Okay.
And they're surprisingly easy to do.
So no need to, like, run off to a monastery in the mountains.
Nope. Even small, consistent steps can make a huge difference.
All right, I can get behind that. Small steps.
Exactly. Just think of it like working a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger your focus and resilience get.
So even 5 minutes a day helps.
Absolutely. Even 5 or 10 minutes can make a real difference.
Okay, that's doable. I can squeeze that in somewhere.
And the most important thing is just to show up regularly, you know?
Yeah, consistency.
Exactly. There's no such thing as perfect meditation. Just keep showing up and the benefits will come.
That's good to hear because I'm definitely not perfect at anything. All right, so we've talked a lot about the individual benefits for leaders.
Yeah.
But what about the effects on teams and the whole company culture? Dube's company had amazing results once he started implementing this stuff.
Totally. And it wasn't just about him meditating by himself in his office.
Right.
He actually built mindfulness into the whole company culture.
So what, did he make everyone meditate?
He encouraged it, yeah. But it was more about creating a work environment that was good for people's well-being
Okay.
and encouraged open communication. Like,
Yeah.
he started doing mindful meetings. Everyone would take a minute to breathe and be present before getting down to business.
I love that idea, like a little reset before things get crazy.
Exactly. And he was big on active listening and empathy. Remember, meditation helped him become a better listener,
Yeah,
and he wanted his team to have that same skill.
makes sense. When people feel heard and understood, they're probably more engaged at work, right?
Definitely. It also makes the whole vibe more positive and collaborative. People are less likely to just react and get stressed out when they feel supported and respected.
So it's like this ripple effect. One person meditating leads to better communication, and then the whole company culture becomes more positive and productive.
You got it. It's a holistic approach to leadership and well-being. You know, it's not just about individual performance. It's about creating an environment where everyone can thrive.
I really like that. It just feels like a much more sustainable and human way to lead, especially in this crazy, fast-paced world we live in.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that our own well-being and our ability to lead effectively are tied together. When we take care of ourselves, we're better equipped to take care of others and make a positive difference in the world.
That's a really powerful thought. But I'm curious, when Dube started doing all this, did he run into any resistance? Were people skeptical?
Oh, absolutely. Change is never easy, especially when you're talking about something like meditation that some people see as,
Yeah.
a little out there.
Yeah, kind of woo-woo.
Exactly. Some people thought it was a waste of time. It's a big change from the always-on, grinded-out mentality that's so common in a lot of workplaces.
Totally. So how did he get people on board?
He had to prove it worked. He shared his own experiences, showed them the research, and most importantly, he walked the talk. He lived it.
So leading by example, showing that meditation wasn't just some fluffy thing, but a real tool for better leadership and results.
Exactly. And eventually, people started to see the benefits for themselves. They became more open and engaged.
Like they say, seeing is believing, right? People need to see the real impact before they buy into something new.
Definitely. And that's when the real change happens. It's not about forcing people to meditate. It's about creating a culture that encourages self-awareness, mindfulness, and a whole-person approach to well-being.
This is all really fascinating. I'm already thinking about how I can use some of this in my own leadership. But are there other examples out there? Other leaders who've made meditation part of their approach and seen success?
Oh, tons. Arianna Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post, is a great example. She's been a big advocate for mindfulness and well-being at work.
Right. She even wrote a whole book about it, Thrive, right?
Yep, that's the one.
I remember that. It really stuck with me, especially the parts about sleep and disconnecting from technology.
She realized that the old idea of success, the one where you burn yourself out and sacrifice your health, just isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even work that well in the end.
And she made some pretty big changes at the Huffington Post, right? Like nap rooms and encouraging people to take breaks.
Totally. She made employee well-being a priority, realizing that people who are happy and healthy are more engaged and productive.
That's so different from the whole grind culture thing that's so common these days.
It really is. It's about recognizing that our well-being isn't a luxury. It's essential for effective leadership and sustainable success.
This is all so eye-opening. I'm feeling really energized and inspired just thinking about the possibilities. But I'm also wondering, with all this talk about mindfulness and meditation, is there a risk of it becoming just another buzzword, like another management fad that comes and goes?
That's a fair point. Like any trend, it could get overused and watered down.
Yeah.
But I think the core ideas of mindfulness and meditation are much deeper than just a fad
Why do you think that?
because they tap into basic human needs, the need for connection, for meaning, for purpose.
Yeah,
Those are timeless needs. They'll always be relevant no matter what the trends are.
that makes a lot of sense. It's not about chasing the latest management gimmick. It's about something much more fundamental.
Exactly. And I think as more leaders experience how powerful mindfulness and meditation can be, they'll become advocates for it. They'll see the positive effects, not just in their own lives, but in their teams and organizations as well.
So it's not just about individual leaders meditating in a corner somewhere. It's about creating a ripple effect that spreads throughout the workplace and beyond.
Exactly. It's about shifting our whole way of thinking towards a more mindful and compassionate way of being and leading.
This has been such a great conversation. I'm really feeling inspired to explore this more and start trying some of these techniques myself. But before we wrap up, any final thoughts for our listeners, especially those who might be totally new to this whole idea of meditation for leadership?
I think the big takeaway is that meditation isn't just a personal thing. It's a real tool for becoming a better leader, for handling stress, and building a more positive and productive work environment. It's not about becoming some kind of meditation guru. It's about finding what works for you and making it part of your everyday life.
That's a great point. It's about finding what works for you, not trying to fit into some rigid mold.
Exactly. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There's no need to be perfect. Just keep showing up, be present, and trust the process.
I love that. Show up, be present, trust the process. Such simple but powerful advice that we can all use in our lives and leadership journeys.
And as you go on this journey, remember, you're not alone. There are more and more leaders out there who are embracing these principles and working towards a more mindful and compassionate world.
That's really encouraging to hear. I'm excited about the possibilities and the impact this can have on us and the world around us. Okay, so let's say I'm ready to ditch the stress and tap into that leadership zen. Where do we start? Give me the basics.
All right, so Dube's big on finding a quiet spot, somewhere you won't be interrupted.
Easier said than done these days.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it could be your office, a park, even just a quiet corner at home.
Yeah.
The main thing is minimizing distractions.
Gotcha. No point in trying to find inner peace with my phone blowing up every 2 seconds.
Exactly. Then get comfortable. Find a posture that makes you feel grounded, connected. Dube likes sitting cross-legged,
Okay.
but honestly, whatever works for you is fine. Could be a chair, standing, even lying down, if that's more comfortable.
No judgment here. Comfort is key when you're trying to chill out.
For sure. Once you're settled, focus on your breath. Just notice each inhale and exhale.
Okay.
Sounds simple, but I bet it's tougher than it seems.
Oh, absolutely. I've tried this stuff before. Your mind goes all over the place. Grocery lists, that email you forgot to send, what's for dinner.
That's totally normal. Don't get frustrated when it happens. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath.
Like herding cats, maybe?
Kinda, yeah. It's like training a puppy. Takes patience and practice.
So no beating myself up if I can't, like, empty my mind completely.
Nope. Even experienced meditators have wandering thoughts. The important part is gently redirecting them back to the present moment.
Gotcha. So Dube's big on consistency, right? Like, short, regular practice is better than one long session every now and then.
Exactly. It's like working out a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger your focus and resilience become.
So even 5-10 minutes a day helps.
Huge difference. Huge.
Okay, I can definitely commit to that.
And remember, there's no such thing as perfect meditation. Just show up consistently, and the good stuff will follow.
That's a relief to hear. So we focused a lot on how meditation helps leaders individually.
Yeah.
But what about the effects on teams and the whole company culture? Dube's company saw some amazing results after he started applying these principles, right?
Absolutely. And it wasn't just him meditating in a corner office.
Right.
He made mindfulness part of the company DNA.
So how did he do that? Was everyone meditating in the break room?
He encouraged it, yeah, but it was more about building a work environment that supported people's well-being
Okay.
and encouraged open communication. Like he started these things called mindful meetings.
Are for meetings.
Yeah, everyone would take a minute to breathe and be present before diving into the agenda.
I love that, like hitting the reset button before things get hectic.
Exactly. He was also big on active listening and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how meditation helped him become a better listener? He wanted his team to have that skill too.
Makes sense. When people feel heard, they're more likely to be engaged and share their best ideas, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it creates a more positive and collaborative atmosphere. Less likely to have people just reacting and getting stressed when they feel respected and supported.
So it's like a domino effect, right? One person starts meditating, it leads to better communication, and then the whole company culture becomes more positive and productive.
Boom. You got it.
Yeah.
It's a holistic approach to leadership and well-being, not just about how one person performs. It's about everyone thriving.
I like that. It feels like a much more sustainable and human way to lead, especially in today's crazy, fast-paced world.
Couldn't agree more. It's about recognizing that how we feel, our well-being, and how effectively we lead, they're all connected.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, you can take better care of others, make a real positive difference.
That's powerful stuff. But I'm curious, when Dube started all this, did he face any pushback? Were people skeptical?
Oh, for sure. Change is hard, especially
Yeah.
when you're talking about something like meditation that some folks see as a little
Yeah.
woo-woo.
Definitely out there, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Some people thought it was a total waste of time. It's a big shift from the whole always-on, grind-it-out mentality you see in a lot of companies.
Totally. So how did he convince people?
He had to walk the walk. He shared his experiences, showed them the research.
Uh-huh.
Most importantly, he lived it. He was a living example of what he was preaching.
Leading by example, proving that meditation wasn't just some fluffy new age thing, but a real tool for better leadership and results.
Exactly. And once people saw the benefits firsthand, they started to come around. More open, more engaged.
Makes sense. Seeing is believing, right? You need to see the actual impact before you buy into something new.
100%. That's when the real magic happens. It's not about forcing people to meditate. It's about creating a culture that values self-awareness, mindfulness, and a holistic approach to well-being.
That's really interesting. I'm starting to get some ideas for my own leadership style, but are there other examples out there? Other leaders who've used meditation and seen success with it?
Oh, tons. Ariana Huffington, who founded the Huffington Post, is a great one. She's been a big champion for mindfulness and well-being at work.
Right. She wrote that book, Thrive, right?
Yep, that's the one.
I remember reading that. It really resonated with me, especially the parts about sleep and disconnecting from technology.
She realized that the old model of success, the one based on burning out and sacrificing your health, just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable, and it's not even effective.
And she made some pretty radical changes at the Huffington Post, right? Nap rooms, encouraging people to take breaks.
Exactly. She made employee well-being a top priority. Happy, healthy employees are more engaged and productive.
It's such a different mindset from the grind, grind, grind mentality you see in a lot of industries.
It really is. It's about understanding that our well-being isn't some extra thing. It's essential for good leadership, for sustainable success, for everything.
That's a great point. But I'm curious, with all this talk about mindfulness and meditation, is there a risk of it becoming just another buzzword, another management fad that flames out after a while?
It's definitely possible. Like any trend, it could get watered down and lose its meaning. But I really believe the core ideas behind mindfulness and meditation run much deeper than just a fad.
What makes you say that?
Because they tap into some pretty fundamental human needs.
Yeah.
Connection, meaning, purpose.
Yeah.
These things are always going to be important no matter what the latest trends are.
That makes sense. It's not about chasing some fleeting management gimmick. It's about tapping into something much deeper.
Absolutely. And as more leaders actually experience the benefits of mindfulness and meditation firsthand, I think they'll become champions for it. They'll see the positive impact it has on their own lives, their teams, their organizations.
So it's not just about individual leaders meditating in a vacuum. It's about a ripple effect, spreading that mindfulness throughout the workplace and beyond.
You got it. It's about a shift in our collective thinking towards a more mindful, more compassionate way of being, of leading, of interacting with the world.
This has been such a fascinating conversation. I'm really inspired to explore this further and start incorporating some of these techniques myself. But before we wrap up, any final thoughts for our listeners, especially those who are new to this whole idea of meditation for leadership?
I think the big takeaway here is that meditation isn't just some personal self-help thing. It's a real tool, a tool to become a better leader, to handle stress, to build a more positive, productive work environment. And you don't have to turn into some meditation guru. It's about finding what works for you and making it part of your daily life.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Just paying attention to your breath can actually make you a better leader.
Right. It's wild how simple but powerful it can be. And the best part is anyone can do it. Doesn't matter who you are or what you've done before.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need any special equipment or to go on some fancy retreat. You can literally just start right now wherever you are.
Totally. And that's what I love about Dube's story. I mean, he's this super successful entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but he's also just a regular guy who found this thing, meditation, and it totally changed his life, his business, his leadership.
It's a great reminder that this isn't just some airy-fairy concept.
Yeah.
Meditation's a practical tool that can help you deal with real-life challenges, especially as a leader.
And it's not just about dealing with the tough stuff. It's about thriving in spite of it. Like tapping into this deeper well of wisdom and resilience. That's what lets you lead with more clarity, more compassion, more purpose.
So it's not about getting rid of stress altogether. It's more like learning to ride the waves instead of getting wiped out.
Love that analogy. And it's important to remember it's a journey, not a destination. Some days you'll feel super zen,
Right.
and other days your mind's going to be all over the place.
Totally get that.
Yeah.
The key is to just keep practicing, even when it's tough.
Exactly. Even a few minutes a day can make a difference. Consistency is everything.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be perfect.
Thank goodness.
It's about progress, not perfection.
I can get behind that. And the more you practice, I guess, the more natural these skills become in your leadership.
Absolutely. You'll start to notice yourself handling situations more calmly, making decisions with more clarity, connecting with your team on a whole new level.
It's like working a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly.
Okay, so for someone who's like, meditation, what's that? Where do they even begin? Any advice for a total newbie?
There are a ton of different types of meditation, but one that's super helpful for leaders is mindfulness meditation.
Mindfulness meditation, what's that all about?
Basically, you're paying attention to what's happening right now in this moment
Okay.
without judging it. You notice your thoughts, your feelings, your physical sensations, but you don't get swept away by them.
So it's like creating a little space between you and your reactions, right? Hitting the pause button before you respond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that space is where you can make conscious, intentional choices instead of just reacting on autopilot.
That's so important, especially when you're a leader, because your choices affect so many other people.
100%. And the great thing about mindfulness meditation is you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Really?
Yep. While you're walking, eating, even just sitting at your desk.
So it's not about escaping reality. It's about bringing more awareness to whatever you're doing.
You got it. It's about making mindfulness part of your everyday life.
That's really empowering. It's not another thing to cram into your schedule. It's a shift in how you approach everything.
I love that. And remember, there's tons of help out there if you need it. Apps, books, guided meditations, even in-person classes.
Awesome. Find what works for you.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've given everyone a lot to think about today.
Yeah.
And some great ways to get started with using meditation to become better leaders.
Absolutely. If you're interested in learning more about Rob Dube's story and his take on mindful leadership, definitely check out his book, Do Nothing.
Great.
It's really eye-opening. And for more resources on meditation, we'll have some links in the show notes.
Perfect.
So remember, the journey to mindful leadership starts with a single breath. Take a moment right now, pause, breathe, and connect with this moment.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the power of meditation for leaders. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Until next time.